Oh, there we are again. How about that?
Hey!
Jen, how are you doing?
Stan. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. How was your Easter?
It was great. I went to Texas.
Oh, yeah, I heard you traveled to a foreign country.
Yeah, well, actually, I read yesterday that Rick Perry, the governor, is, I don't want to say filing for secession, but he's trying to establish Texas's sovereignty again.
Didn't you guys do that like before?
No, we tried to, but it's a great political move during tax season,
of
course. So.
Gotcha. That's good. Yeah. Speaking of freedom of choice.
Speaking of Texas.
Wow. Well, that's not what I was going actually.
Right.
You know, I mean, this week's topic was free will,
right.
And it took a while for guys to get geared up. But once finally we got some conversation, it's been really
a bottomless pit.
A bottomless pit. Yeah. So, tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I think the main gist of the argument on there was, I think people kind of positioned it as religious free will versus free will just in layperson society, and I think it would be fair to say that free will performs an important operation, and if you want to separate those two, both of those societies, I guess in religion, free will allows you to reject evil and not sin and be like God. And I guess if you want to call it the outside world, in the lay world, free will allows for the imposition of law because you are held accountable for choosing something, and free will allows you to choose. So the most interesting thing is how people try and draw lines between religious free will and real world free will.
Yeah, and what I thought was interesting is that there were some, I think, fundamental assumptions made that may or may not be true. But what I was hearing in some of the responses were some assumptions that comments people were making were assumed to be in one camp or another. But that's what I'm encouraged by with these conversations. Is here's the opportunity to have some real authentic conversation and learn from one another. And you and I were kind of figuring out, what are we going to say about this? Because it is a bottomless pit. But it's like, hey, you know what? This has been great conversation, and it's going to be up for another few weeks, right?
Right. Yeah.
We are changing topics. This week's topic is what does it mean to be a neighbor? Who's your neighbor? Thomas Friedman, who writes for the New York Times, wrote a book. Like 2005, I think it was, called The World is Flat. And kind of the premise of his book was that globalization and technology has kind of changed the way that we see who our neighbor is. But that conversation is the new one. But gosh, I would hate to leave this one in the dust because it just started getting revved up. And some people make some really nice comments.
On both sides of the fence, from a layperson's perspective and from a religious perspective. And one thing that I've come away with reading all these responses is what accounts for what we choose. Obviously we have free will, but what makes us choose one thing over the other? Is it just environment? Is it something deeper? I mean, why did two people respond to similar environments and similar genetic makeups with different choices? So I think that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, please go on there, weigh in more. It's really interesting. If we could give you the answers about free will, we wouldn't be here. We'd be, I don't know, hanging out with the Dalai Lama or the Pope or something.
Or Bono. Oh wait, no, I do that. I don't know that he has anything to say. Oh, well, never mind.
I'm sure he does.
That's another story for another day.
Stevie
B. Ooh, good. Hey, good call. Yeah. That one's still up there too. If you want to weigh in on.
If you want to take a shot at Stevie B.
Have at it. Okay, I think we're about done, and this would be a world record time for us.
It will.
Congratulations. All right. Good
you
work.
Put a applause track in the background.
I think I will do that.
Okay.
All right. Hey, see ya.
Bye, Stan. Bye.
Endless Deep, endlessdeep.org. Check us out. Weigh in, and love to hear from you.